there's a marvellous quote which is, if you can't make love, make money, which I think is one of the best lines written this century, if I may say so. Could you elaborate a bit on that?
That's not in Train.
No, but it's in one of your early books.
If you can't make love, make money? Well, it seems to me in a way to begin to sum up part of the dilemma as I see it of the Western nations, which have made a great deal of money at the price of love. I think, if I remember correctly, the phrase is exactly people who can't make love make money. I was thinking of Switzerland, for example. At one point in my life, I had to go from Istanbul to Lausanne. And the Swiss, as we all know, are respectable, clean, and it doesn't matter to the Swiss who loses or wins what war. Every time I went there, they were building a new bank. And you sneeze, you know, on the stink of gold dust. Istanbul, on the contrary, is a very poor country, very poor people. And when I was living in Istanbul, I don't want to be romantic about poverty, because it's not pretty. Nevertheless, the Turks, the people I was dealing with, who had nothing, reminded me of the people I grew up with who had nothing, who would give you anything, everything. Really, the shirt off their back, money, bread. And you fly from Istanbul to Lausanne, and you find yourself in this alabaster setting, this kind of New Jerusalem, where nobody will give you the time of day, and the Swiss don't even speak to each other.
Do the Americans?
Speak to each other?
Mm.
It depends on which newspaper you read.
If you read the New York Times, do they speak to each other?
Well, I'll tell you who they don't speak to. They don't speak to those people who were causing that incident in Miami yesterday.
The Republican Convention.
The Republican Convention is not speaking to, any more than the New York Times is speaking to, the people in the streets, who are not only black people, by the way, Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, and everyone denies it, but America has a vast, vast poverty-stricken population.
None of whom are Republicans.
Oh, some of them think they would like to be. Some of them think they would like to be Democrats. All of them think they would like to be Americans. What is at issue here is a tremendous gap, and it's a real gap and very sinister, between the American dream and what America is really like.
Why has that come about?
Well, it's come about in many ways, but to go back to people who can't make love and make money, it comes back to, in the case of America, the fact that for a very long time, the most real thing in that country was the conquest of land and the uses of people. People were put to uses to which people should not be put. People were used as things. And again, not only black people. Now, the bill for this tremendous moral and spiritual defection has now come in. It is impossible to believe, if you believe in human life, that the peculiar gallery of candidates America has lately produced are the best people in that country, but they're the best people the machine can produce.
But this extraordinary sort of lack of communication between the people who govern and the people who are being governed in America always seems to me very ironic in the American situation, because their communications are more highly developed than anywhere else in the world. So you would have thought there would have been greater contact and less use of people as things. Now, I mean, has the communications industry in America conspired against it in some way? Does it?
Well, the communications industry in America is also at the mercy of the profit system, or the profit motive. What is to be communicated in the main is what people would like to think of America as being. What is not to be communicated in the main is what is the underside the other side of the American coin. The situation of miners in West Virginia, the situation of black people all over the country, the situation of the textbook industry in which black people are taught that they're worth nothing. What is not to be communicated is what really activates this peculiar republic. And it's very important to say this in England, because at the risk of offending you, and I know that I'm a guest in your country, the English fortunes are terribly tied to the American fortunes. And I know we all know this. And so whoever becomes the next president of the United States will be in some sense your president too. Without going any further than that, you can also see the sinister implications of the fact that the doctrine of white supremacy did not begin in America, but in Europe and especially here. So in a sense it can be said that since you use so much of that country, which was not then a country, as a dumping place for your convicts, you now deserve your presidents.